Namaskar. I am Dr. Sapunti, brings you the viewpoint. In a shifting global economic order, a growing coalition of nations is challenging the dominance of the US dollar. Russia, China, and increasingly India are exploring alternatives. At the center of this push stands the BRICS grouping. But what does this de-dollarization right mean? And what role does the recent visit of Russian President Vladimir Putin to India play? Today, we break it all down. De-dollarization refers to reducing dependence on the US dollar for international trade and financial transactions. Instead, countries aim to use their national currencies or other alternatives for cross-border settlements, hoping to reduce exposure to dollar-based geoeconomic pressures. In practice, it could mean that trade between two countries happens in their respective currencies. For example, Russia using rubles, India using rupees, China using yuan, or even via a new common currency or payment system among allied nations. There are strategic motivations behind this move. Sanctions and geopolitical risks. For countries like Russia facing Western sanctions, relying on the dollar can make them vulnerable to financial isolation. Switching to national currencies or alternative payment systems reduce that risk. Financial sovereignty and independence. By bypassing dollar based systems, countries exert more control over their trade and finances, reducing dollar dominance and weaponization. The dollar, when used by powerful economies, can be a geopolitical tool. De-dollarization is seen as a way to counter that, strengthening South-South cooperation. For emerging and developing economies, often part of the global South, using local currencies or alternative systems makes trade smoother without reliance on Western financial architecture. In short, it is about economic resilience, political autonomy, and building alternatives to a dollar centric global financial order. The bloc known as BRICS, originally formed by Brazil, Russia, India, and China, later joined by South Africa, has become a central forum for discussing de-dollarization. One concrete effort, BRICS Pay, a payment messaging system designed to enable cross-border transactions in local currencies, bypassing systems that rely on the US dollar. BRICS scale up such systems and manage to use a common currency or widely accept national currencies among themselves. Global trade and finance could gradually become less dollar dependent. But many obstacles remain. Financial infrastructure is uneven, global markets remain dollar heavy, and confidence in alternatives takes time. Recently, Russian President Vladimir Putin visited India, his first trip since Russia's war in Ukraine, underscoring that Moscow is not limiting itself only to China. It sees wider opportunities. Earlier, at the 2024 BRICS summits in Kazan, Putin had called for an alternative international payment system, warning that the dollar was being used as a weapon. He revealed that about 95% of trade between Russia and China now occurs in rubles and yuan. This visit to India is viewed as a signal, perhaps a deeper push for India-Russia trade in rubles, reducing reliance on the US dollar. For India, it is a balancing act. New Delhi has often emphasized trade in local currencies, but it has also been cautious about overtly moving away from the global financial architecture. In short, Putin's visit may accelerate bilateral deals, infrastructure for local currency settlements, and possibly pave the way for broader BRICS level financial cooperation. If de-dollarization gains traction, several effects may unfold. Reduced power of US-centric sanctions. Countries may become less vulnerable to dollar-based financial sanctions. Greater financial autonomy for emerging economies, especially in global south, less reliance on Western dominated systems, more regional trade in local currencies could reduce conversion costs, exchange rate risks, and dependency on dollar liquidity. Potential instability or fragmentation, because moving away from dominant global currency is not simple. Trust, liquidity, and infrastructure for alternative currencies are still limited. For India, specifically, stronger trade ties with Russia and other BRICS partners potentially cheaper deals in rupees, rubles, but also the challenge of managing exchange rate risks and global financing relationship. De-dollarization is no longer a fringe idea. It's gaining traction among major emerging economies. The road ahead is complicated. Building trust, infrastructure, and stability takes time. With Putin's recent visit to India and the growing ambitions of BRICS, the shifting landscape may reshape global trade and finance. Whether this evolves into a fully fledged alternative financial architecture or remains a partial complement to the dollar remains uncertain. What is clear, the age of unquestionable dollar dominance is under challenge, and the global south might be at the forefront of whatever comes next. So that's all for now. Thank you.